Dear students, dear friends, welcome to Gallant IAS. This is Let's Target 120 Plus in Prelim series. Here we are solving some important questions which will help you to score well in your prelims examination. So from history, there is an important module which is constitutional reforms from Regulating Act 1773 to Government of India Act 1935. These constitutional reforms during British Raj, that's very important for you, just because of the reason that this is a favorite area for UPSC. Repeatedly questions being asked from this area in prelims and mains. Now this question, consider the following statements with respect to constitutional developments during this British Raj. Constitutional developments during British Raj. Three statements are there. Charter Act of 1793 laid the foundation of government by written laws and regulations in contrary to personal rule of the past rulers. Act of 1813 empowered the Governor General to legislate for whole of the British territories in India. The Indian Council Act 1861 accounted for the codification of laws in India. Three statements are there. The question is asking which of the statements given above is or are not correct. They are asking for not correct one. Third statement, Indian Council Act 1861 accounted for the codification of laws in India. No chance, because we know that there is already appointment of a law commission under the chairmanship of this Lord Macaulay. Then there is like a review of these Indian laws, or maybe Indian customs laws, or maybe religious laws, different laws, etc. Finally, this codification of Indian laws that is done by 1860. There is Indian Penal Code drafted by 1860 itself. So the statement is saying Indian Council Act 1861 accounted for the codification of laws in India. That is absolutely not correct. That is Charter Act 1833. You know that. Okay. So the third statement is a wrong statement. Now see, the Act of 1813 empowered the Governor General to legislate for whole of the British territories in India. 1813, no, it is 1833. For the first time, Governor General of India post was created. Rest of the presidencies directly got subordinated to Calcutta Presidency, and for the whole Indian administration, a post was created, Governor General of India and his council. That was created in 1833 Act only. So this Governor General empowered to legislate for whole of the British territories, that is done only by Charter Act 1833 only, and the first Governor General was William Bentinck, of India was William Bentinck. So the second statement is also not correct. Okay, go for the first one. Charter Act of 1793 laid a foundation of the government by written laws and regulations. Yes, the foundation of the government by these written laws and regulations. By written laws and regulations, that is done by Charter Act 1793. Till then, you know, the personal laws of these rulers being, government run by the personal laws of the rulers. Okay, and for the first time, yes, for the first time, the written laws and regulations for running the government, that was done by this Charter Act 1793. Also it renewed this companies privilege for trading in India for the next 20 years by this Charter Act 1793. So here the not correct one is 2 and 3 only. Your answer has to be C. There is a question in the context of Charter Act 1813. Consider the following statements. Economic principles in the work, the wealth of the nations can be seen in this act. Yes, wealth of the nations which is demanding for free trade, or maybe the country's GDP can be grown by this, liberal trade policies, or introducing the traders, merchants into free markets. Okay, so this wealth of nations in which Adam Smith is demanding for free markets. Okay, let's say that, or that will boost this. I mean, laissez-faire. You could see that there should be less government restrictions or government interference in the trade affairs. Okay, so we have seen there is wealth of nations, which is also supporting the idea of, like a free trade or maybe liberal market economies, etc. Okay, so let's see that in 1813 Act, the free trade provision was introduced for the first time. Am I right? The company's monopoly was partially ended and free trade was introduced for the first time. So let's say, this Act, Charter Act 1813, this almost, I mean, the principles of wealth of nations can be seen in this Charter Act 1813. Okay, wealth of nations is also supporting the idea introduction of the free markets, or maybe that the free trade concepts, etc. Or maybe you see wealth of nation, or maybe countries GDP can be boosted by increasing these exports and decreasing these imports, etc. So anyway, let's see that it is supporting the idea. Let's have more markets in the foreign countries. Okay, let's have free trades in the with the foreign countries. So such a liberal markets, liberal trade or liberal exports, maybe liberal trade policies, that is something supported in this wealth of nations. And same thing, laissez-faire principle is also there. The same thing, free trade, that is introduced by 1813 Act. There was a provision to set aside a sum of 1 lakh rupees for every year for promoting literature and science among native Indians. Yeah, that is also a feature of 1813 Act. For the first time, 1 lakh rupees promoted, or it is sanctioned for the promotion of this, yes, this Western education, or maybe this promotion of this literature and science among these native Indians. Act paved way for the entry of Christian missionaries from Britain. So all the three are correct here. All these are correct regarding Charter Act 1813. Now consider the following statements with respect to Government of India Act 1935. Four statements are there. Federalism and parliamentary form of government was the basic structure of this act. Exactly, that is true regarding Government of India Act 1935. You know, the structural part of the current constitution being borrowed from this act. Now the act introduced a fully responsible government at the center with the autonomy. There is no fully responsible government at the center. Okay, you see that the center, you could see that the center, it's a kind of like a diarchy. You know, central diarchy is introduced here. Now provinces were freed from superintendence and direction of the Secretary of the State and Governor General. So you could see that in the provinces, provincial autonomy is introduced. Independent or free government is introduced in the provinces. In the center, central diarchy is introduced. Now the act replaced term depressed classes with the scheduled caste. For the first time, this is under this particular act, depressed classes term replaced with the scheduled caste. So here the correct one has to be, the first statement is correct one, but the federal structure never taken place. See, first statement is correct, second statement is wrong. There is no autonomy at the center. You know, central diarchy was introduced here and provincial autonomy was introduced here. Third statement is correct and fourth statement is also correct. 1, 3 and 4 has to be your answer. Bombay is your answer. So coming to constitutional reforms, please take care of the various provisions and recommendations by each constitutional reform or each act. Okay, regulating acts are there, or charter acts are there, council acts are there, Government of India acts are there. So take care what are the provisions, what are the recommendations, and Indian responses to such recommendations or provisions of such act. That's important for you. Stay tuned and please do watch our classes, our videos in YouTube channel, and they will definitely help you. That will definitely boost your preparation. All the best. Thank you.